Hello and welcome to Deep Cuts the Game, a movie trivia podcast where I give my three contestants three different movies and they try to come up with the most random, minor, or obscure characters they can from those films. The deeper the cut, the more points they get. I'm your host Jeff Penn, and with me as always, a guy who can still buy his clothes at H&M Kids, Alex Young. Hey Alex, welcome to the show.
I'm impressed. It's your best intro. It only took, 19? 20?
This is the 20th episode, yeah.
Great. 20th time's the charm. You nailed it.
Yep.
And also, to your joke, I did get a winter coat in the kids' children's section. It was $7.
Listen,
awesome.
anytime I say something about you, it's not a joke. It's the truth.
How dare you?
So we're a couple weeks removed from it, but you were at Fan Expo.
I was.
And you spoke to one of our guests that are on today, and he didn't know it was you.
Is this the story you're telling?
I don't know, but you seemed upset when you told me. You're like, yeah,
I was not upset at all.
You're like,
what are you talking about?
You're like, he didn't recognize me, and I was like, why would he recognize you?
You had a mask on.
I had a mask on. Yeah. I had a mask on, and I said as much to you. That's not the story I wanted to tell. But then I wanted to tell my Tim Ware Morrison story, which is way better.
But then also, like a child, I said, did you introduce yourself to him? And you were like, no, I didn't do that. And I was like, why wouldn't you introduce yourself to him? You know him, kind of.
Not really. We were on this one time.
All right. Well, tell me your stupid story.
How dare you? My stories are great. No, but now I'm going to address the other thing. No, I had a brief chat with Fred, and it was awesome, and he's super nice. And I met Nick,
called you out because you were wearing a great shirt as you were walking by.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was you. I yelled at you because of your shirt.
Jeff's making it a whole thing. I think he likes to create drama. I feel like it's better for ratings. But nobody's worried about it. Anyway, my Tim Morrison story. So he was the person I was most excited to meet at Fan Expo because I genuinely never thought he would be at Fan Expo because, that's far from New Zealand and stuff. But, it's cool to meet Jango Fett and the clones and Boba Fett. That's huge. So I lined up, met him. Super, super lovely. The nicest guy. I chatted to him briefly about Lee Tomahari's Once Were Warriors and obviously a little bit about Star Wars. And he took some pictures with me, which is really cool. And then I mentioned that I'm going to the premiere of his film. Man, I really should have double-checked the title before I started this tale on a podcast. I think it's called Battle Without End. And it's a Maori film that he's in it with Cliff Curtis. And I assume he's a producer or something on it as well. He seemed really excited about it. And I'm like, hey, I'm going to go see this during the festival. And he's like, oh, yeah, that's premiering here. And I'm like, yeah, I've got tickets to the premiere. And I'm really excited about it. And he's like, oh, shit. I think I'm supposed to go to that. I'm like, I would assume so. He's like, when is it? I'm like, when is it? You should know this. And I'm like, it's the second Friday at TIFF, 13th, I think. And he's like, right. And he writes it on a Post-it note. And I'm like, it's at 3:15. And he's like, got it, yeah. And writes that down. And I'm like, and I think there's a press screening the week earlier, on the 6th at the same time. He's like, oh, got it. And he wrote all that down. I'm like, I don't know if you have to be at the press screening or not. I don't know if any talent goes to those. I genuinely don't know. So then he crosses it out. I'm like, oh, I'm not your handler, man. Hopefully someone's going to reach out and give you an itinerary and a schedule. Don't just take what I'm kind of half remembering on the first day of Fan Expo as your festival schedule. Anyway.
Alex, you should have offered him a free ticket. You should have said, hey, I have an extra ticket. So if you're not invited, you can join me.
He should have been my +1. And I'm
+1.
In the nosebleeds.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're fine. You can see it from here. Don't worry about it.
He also was in a movie called The Brighton Miracle, which is probably the greatest sports movie ever made, about Japan playing South Africa in the Rugby World Cup in 2015, which to this day is the greatest sporting event that I have ever witnessed. It was 10 a.m. on a Saturday at Scallywags in downtown Toronto, and we were hammered, and it was the greatest thing that I have ever watched in my life, and you got to watch it. It's it's the most insane thing that I've ever seen in sport. You got to watch it. It's great.
And what's the movie called?
The Brighton Miracle.
Brighton Miracle. All right, writing that one down. Well, you've heard his voice, so let's get him into the show officially. We're excited to welcome Fearless Fred to the show for his second visit. He was here back on episode 9, where he put up a whopping 103 points in a record-setting performance. Fred is well known on Canadian radio, comic book writer, pop culture aficionado. He's currently on 107 in Toronto here. And the thing I'm loving about him right now is I did finish Mud 79, his Star Wars fan-made podcast. And yeah, we're excited for it'll be season 4, right, Fred?
Season 3. It's
season 3. Okay.
It's long and plotting, and it always I'm just going to do this much, and then it winds up being way longer than what it is. Yeah, it's mostly written. It's finding the time to like sit down and voice it and produce it. The audio production aspect of that is a beast. It is a very labor intensive mix on that one. Yeah,
I hear you. I did like a 5-minute short video based on one of our podcasts here, and it took me the better part of a week because of Alex's goddamn notes that he kept sending me.
The mix down is quite frustrating, and then you finally get it done, and then you realize you highlighted one row of audio and slipped it forward 1 second, and then the whole thing sounds like garbage, and you got to go back and refix it all.
So Fred back for his second show, back for his first official show. Adam did join us on a little thing we did called Flash Frames, which was a little rapid fire 60-second version of Deep Cuts. Adam is a local legend in Pickering here. He is the owner of Heroic Dreams. Yep. So if you're into superheroes or collectibles, he's your guy. Let's give a big round of applause, Alex and Fred. Big round of applause from all three of us to the comic king of Kingston Road in Pickering, Adam Phillips.
Well, thank you very much, Jeff. Appreciate it.
Well, thanks for coming back, Adam.
I'm glad to be here.
I'm hoping after having played Flash Frames with us, you've got a better understanding of how the game goes, and we don't just get a bunch of Craig T. Nelson answers. Though I did love it that I might do one out where the same person's in every movie, and you just got to figure out who that is.
I feel like it's almost going to trick. It's going to trick whoever you give it to, because you're going to get in a spiral of Craig T. Nelson.
Yeah.
Or whoever where it's the only name you can come up with, even though you know there's going to be deeper cuts.
Well, I think it would be someone deep. Like I was thinking maybe Mary Ellen Trainor. And you're like, who's Mary
Ellen Trainor?
Fred knows who Mary Ellen Trainor is.
No, I don't at all, but I probably would recognize her. That was the problem, is that I know people who they are.
She's the mom from Goonies.
Oh.
And so she's also I think she's also the mom in Monster Squad. And she's in every Richard Donner film and all those types of films. She's always the mom or always the psychiatrist. So Mary Ellen Trainor, just keep that one in your back pocket.
How about Louis Guzman?
Oh yeah.
Or Peter Mullen.
That guy has range. He can be a wholesome dad. He can be a terrifying gangster. He was terror incarnate in Narcos, man. He was a scary dude.
So before we get into our movies, we played the little thing where I ask you to all try to think of what movie am I thinking of. And because no one ever believes me that it's a real movie, I have a DVD copy of the movie that I'm thinking of here. So Adam, what movie am I thinking of?
So this is just any movie?
Any movie. Any movie.
Any movie. The Unbearable Lightness of Being.
Wow, that's deep, man. That is deep. Fred, what movie am I thinking of?
Well, you bring up that era, Richard Donner, Robert Zemeckis. I'm just going to say Glory.
Okay. Good movie. Alex, what movie am I thinking of?
Adventures in Babysitting.
No, it's not. It's I don't know what year it came out, but it's kind of a movie you forget happened. The Beaver with Jodie Foster, Mel Gibson, Anton Yelchin, and Jennifer Lawrence.
Did not know she was in that.
She's literally on the cover, and it must be right after Winter's Bone. She must have done The Beaver. So none of you are close, but I feel like Adam's the closest. I just feel like the subject matter is.
Sure, I was thinking the same thing.
I could see that.
Yeah, it's not Glory. That's a Civil War movie, and you got Adventures in Babysitting. It's more of an upbeat kids comedy. So I'm gonna Adam. Where would you like to go? First, second, or third? First. Woo. All right.
My answers are all going to be the same actor, so it doesn't really matter.
Alex, I know where you're going to go anyway, so I'm going to let you decide if you want second or third.
I will take third. You know that I'm going to pick third.
All right. So we let our guest, Fred's going to be in the 2 spot. So now the 3 movies, which I will tell you there are 2 actors that appear in more than one film. If you get that person, you get all the points. The first movie from 2000. Gladiator. So if you have a pen and paper, you may want to write down the names of the movie and start jotting down names of actors or actresses that you think are in that film. From 2003, Mystic River. And then, even though Adam said nothing from the MCU because he didn't want to go up against Fred and Alex in a battle of comic books, despite owning a comic book store, I'm taking something that's not quite MCU, but I am doing the 2011 X-Men First Class.
Jesus. Boy, picking a lot of movies that I haven't seen in a real long time.
So take a few minutes, jot down your thoughts. And like I said, there are 2 people that appear in more than one film.
So, Gladiator, I saw very recently at the Review Cinema.
It's a tough one. It's tough.
That's the thing. I watched it. I'm like, oh, there's a couple good deep cuts in it. This was 1 month ago.
And you still can't remember it.
I couldn't tell you I could barely tell you the lead.
Well, yeah, I don't know what to do, man. I can't.
You know what the best thing about this is that I don't need to name the actors. I can just name who they are and other crap that they've been in. Yep. It's going to be okay.
Yeah, I can never remember anybody's name.
Yeah. The one guy with the hair. You know who he is. Like my big double point game.
Yeah, you didn't even have his name. You pretty much drew the connection that they were in 2 of the movies. And
then rattled off other things that they were on because that guy is also in this. That's what got me the points.
And at this point, I still can't remember that guy's name, even though I had it written down. And
the guy had the stroke in Andor.
Yeah.
That guy.
Yeah.
I think that's what the deciding factor was. Yeah.
All right, Adam, how you feeling?
Fired up. All right, let's go.
All right, Adam, what is your first deep cut?
I'm going to say Oliver Reed.
Ooh. Very well done.
That I had.
Wow,
what a great one.
I believe he's the one that kind of helps our gladiator out and gets him into position to do what he wants to do. Oliver Reed, 14 points, because honestly, I didn't think anyone would remember him.
And he died during filming, I believe.
Did he?
Yeah.
Best known for being in Baron Munchausen and the Big Sleep movie, which I saw him in, and he's very good in that.
And I would say one of my, I'm almost afraid to admit this, but he was in Oliver, which is one of my...
not playing Oliver.
No, he was...
the abusive boyfriend guy.
Yes.
Mm.
Yeah. God.
Perfect. Well, that's great. 14 points for Oliver Reed. Fearless Fred, you're on the clock.
The one dude in Gladiator, and he's the big German guy, and he also played Conan on the Conan TV series. He's one of Arnold Schwarzenegger's friends. He was also in Beer Fest. He was the big giant German guy in that too. He's this giant bodybuilder dude.
You got it. I had to make sure because there's a lot of big guys in Gladiator.
He's friends with Arnold Schwarzenegger in real life. That's what got him the role on the Conan TV show.
His name is Ralph Moeller. And yeah, I've got him listed. He's literally just in the movie. He's listed as the German.
Yeah. They would have called him a Gaul at that point or a Germanic tribesman. Which type? Sharutzi? Come on, give me details.
I had him written down as for Beer Fest and Conan, the TV show, also in Universal Soldier. And Alex, we would have seen him recently in Cyborg, the Jean-Claude Van Damme movie.
Of course he's in Cyborg. Of course he is.
He's the guy that when Jean-Claude Van Damme does the splits in the tunnel with the knife, and he looks up in the rain, and then he drops down in that, I don't want to say iconic shot, but it's pretty iconic. He does the
splits so many times in that movie. Didn't we count like 7 or 8 instances of splits that are mostly unnecessary?
Yes, they're all unnecessary. But
no, the one in the tunnel is fair.
Yes. 13 points for Fred for Ralph Moeller. Alex, you get 2 deep cuts.
So I have only one deep cut, genuinely, for all this, so I'm going to save it for second. Okay. So my first one's I'm going to take Rose Byrne from X-Men First Class.
Okay. Rose Byrne, 5 points. She's not
going to be worth a lot.
Moira McTaggart, I believe, is her name in those films. 5 points.
So here's the only good one I got in my sleeve. In Gladiator, I think he's either a merchant or a slave trader, but he was also in The Mummy, and he's like the prison guard in The Mummy that Rachel Weisz has to like kiss to get Brendan Fraser free.
I'm gonna mess up his name, but I believe it's Omed Dajali. And the thing I know him from is he is the voice of the cat in Over the Hedge. He's like a Persian cat who has no sense of smell, so he falls in love with the skunk voiced by Wanda Sykes.
What a specific thing for you to remember.
I mean, because I had The Mummy and Over the Hedge, but Alex, he's worth 18 points. So that's one of your best deep cuts in a long time.
And the rest are going to be people on the poster for all three movies. So,
is that not what we're doing? People on the poster?
Fred, we're back to you with your second deep cut.
The worst part is that I have not seen Mystic River like ever. So this is tough for me.
It's a good one.
But I got one, so I'm sitting on it. But the kid who plays Havoc that was also in the MacGyver TV show reboot. I forget what his name is. And he was in this horrible movie called Monster Truck about a truck that was actually a monster.
Yes.
Hence the clever title.
His name is Lucas Till.
I interviewed him once, and he was not a happy fella. Let me tell you.
Were you interviewing him for Monster Truck? Because
no,
I would be very happy if that's
it was for MacGyver, the MacGyver TV series, the reboot. So it was just there was a lot of,
He does have a bit of an angry face, doesn't he? But yeah, 9 points for Lucas Till. It's solid. It's a solid cut. Like we said, I think anything over 6 in this game is usually pretty good. Adam.
I also appreciate Fred's performance of Teen Angst. It's nailed it.
Yeah.
Adam, you get 2 deep cuts here. Your second.
I get 2. Okay. Mm-hmm. One of the problems with getting old, I'm finding, is that I'm mixing movies and the actors and actresses. So I'm pretty sure January Jones
is in X-Men First Class. She is as
Emma Frost.
Yeah.
Emma Frost. Yeah. January Jones for 7 points.
I was trying to figure out which is Nicholas Hoult in First Class.
Nicholas Hoult is the Beast for 5 points, because About a Boy is not worth as much anymore. Adam, I'm sorry. It's funny how he went from being like this goofy kid in About a Boy to then he does like that British show like Skins, like literally a year later, and they've like cut his hair and he's just the worst human being in the world. Like, I don't know if you've seen any Skins. It's a hard watch, especially if you have kids. You're like, I don't like that this is where children are doing. No.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like Euphoria if there was no fun in it.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. Fred, you get your third deep cut.
The one Scottish dude from Gladiator who plays a servant. Sometimes I do what I want to do. Most of the times I do what I have to do. He was also in Braveheart. He was the guy who got married and then the English Lord came in and claimed the right of prima nocte. And he was in Sons of Anarchy as well. And he got his face cut because he was a DJ at a bar in Scotland, apparently.
Yeah, he got a bottle broken and stabbed across his face. Alex, what's his name? Do you know?
I don't remember, but Fred's right. He's in a million things, and he's got that like almost Joker scar, for lack of a better description.
Tommy
was he? Okay, I was gonna say, was he in Gotham?
No, it's not that guy. This is Tommy Flanagan, and I literally had written down Sons of Anarchy and Braveheart.
Yeah.
So well done, Fred. Another solid cut, Alex. It's anyone's game right now. So give me your third deep cut.
I don't think it's worth a lot of points, but I know he's going to be double. So Kevin Bacon.
Kevin Bacon for his role in Mystic River as one of the cops, and then also for X-Men First Class as I don't even remember.
Villain, right?
Is he Sebastian something? I feel like he's
Sebastian Stan. He plays Sebastian Stan.
Yes.
Shaw, Sebastian Shaw. So 3 points for Mystic River, Alex, and 5 points for X-Men First Class.
I'll take it.
So Kevin Bacon for 8 points. And let me give you a little quick halfway point rundown. Alex, you have 31 points at the midway point. Fred has 34 points. And Adam has 26 points. So it's very close, within 8 points, first to third. Alex, you're right in the middle. Alex, you get to give me your fourth deep cut.
Yeah, here comes 2 points for Digimon Hanzo in Gladiator.
No, he's
a good deep cut.
No, he's not 2 points because he's 5 points.
Oh, okay. All right. I'll take it. It's more than I thought. I'm not going to argue on that.
No, there's like 4 people listed ahead of him in the credits. And honestly,
he has so much screen time.
If you could remember his name and you know, not be a jerk about forgetting how to pronounce it or anything like that, I think to me that's...
Well, I don't know if I pronounced it right, but I did my best.
5 points for Digimon. Fred, we're back to you.
Richard
Harris, yes, as I believe the father. He's like the What would his title have been in?
He was the Emperor.
Was he the Emperor? Okay, so Richard Harris for 10 points. Adam, you get 2 deep cuts here. Your fourth and your fifth.
Scraping the bottom of the barrel now. Let's just go Tim Robbins, Mystic River.
Let's see that.
What is Mystic River? Like, what is this movie about?
So
Mystic River is awesome.
Mystic River was written by Dennis Lehane, who wrote Shutter Island and wrote Gone Baby Gone. It's directed, I think I can say it's directed by Clint Eastwood, because he's not in the movie. Yeah. But it's about, you just said Tim Robbins, right, Adam? So Tim Robbins, as a kid, was abducted by 2 guys and then returned a week later. Okay. And now, 30 years later, one of the stars of the movie, their daughter has gone missing and turns up dead. It all looks like it was probably Tim Robbins that did it. And they're all kind of like these Boston, like one of them's become a gangster, one of them's just become kind of a normal guy, and the other's a cop. And all these 3 kids have now grown up to be these 3 different people. And it's a really good cast, and it's a lot of like Boston mob stuff. And it's honestly, it's really good. So if you get a chance to watch Mystic River,
Sorry, I kind of kiboshed things.
No, that's all right.
Adam.
Hey,
time.
Adam, 2 points for Tim Robbins. What's your 5th?
2?
I mean,
he's basically the star.
At least,
yeah. I mean, there's the star and then him.
Well, I think there's 2 stars. Anyway.
Yeah, there's 3.
All right, I'm going to take a big swing here because I'm not sure she's in it, but she's in a lot of the other Boston movies, and all of my other top of list answers are weak. Amy Ryan.
She's not.
No.
She's in Gone Baby Gone as the mother of the
too.
Kid, but she's not in this one. She doesn't get to do her Boston accent and be a drug addict. So no points.
One, wasn't she nominated for an Oscar for Gone Baby Gone?
Yes.
Yeah. For
and second, role. I'm really glad Adam guessed that. And not
because you were going to say it. Yeah. Fred, what's your 5th deep cut?
Sophie Turner in X-Men First Class.
Yes, Sophie Turner.
Well remembered.
That's the only name I'm going to get right today. Everyone else is the guy that was in the thing, that did the thing and the thing, that guy.
Sophie Turner for 6 points. I think you got a chance to wrap this one up with a solid 6 guess, Fred. But Alex, you still have a chance. You might as well go big.
I have 2, right?
You have 2, your final 2.
So for Mystic River, I don't think she's worth too much, but maybe she doesn't have a lot of screen time. Emmy Rossum?
She is the daughter of someone who goes missing and turns up dead. Emmy Rossum for 5 points.
And last one, X-Men First Class. The guy who plays Darwin, who I feel like dies super early in that movie.
He died, and it's so stupid how he dies. Considering that his whole power is that he's able to adapt to anything, he shouldn't be able to die.
Yeah, he puts his head in a fish tank at one point.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you anything else he's in except for the most recent season of For All Mankind.
Yes. So
quick shout out to For All Mankind.
Great
that
show.
Is the best show on television.
Great show.
Everyone should watch it.
His name is Eddie Gathegi. He's For All Mankind and also was in Startup. So he's worth 12 points, Alex.
Take it.
That's solid. It's solid. Fred, you got your last one. I think you can win this one with a solid cut.
I don't think that's going to happen, Tim.
Give us the star. Give us the star or something. Right?
I don't remember her name, but I know that she's married to Lars Ulrich. She plays the princess who's got the daughter in Gladiator, the one that Russell Crowe is sort of like all lovey-dovey with. What's her name? And then she has the horrifically cheeseball speech at the end, and she wanders around in the arena, and for some reason everyone's like, "You're right, feelings are good," and it's Rome, which would never happen. She's also Danish or something.
She's from Wonder Woman as well.
Yeah.
Connie Nielsen.
Yeah.
For 6 points. And Fred, so your last pick before this was Sophie Turner.
Yeah.
Sophie Turner's not in X-Men First Class.
Isn't she?
She's not. She does not show up until X-Men Apocalypse.
Well, imagine my embarrassment.
Because so the movie came out in 2011. Sophie Turner doesn't do anything until 2013.
Well, Sorry, guys. I've ruined everything.
In my head, you were
because now I want to double check. I just want to double check real quick because, like,
is she Jean Grey?
She is Jean Grey later on.
In that one.
But not
and I'm just wondering, maybe they don't introduce.
Adam, were you sitting on this knowing the canon and just waiting for me to fall apart at the very end?
No, because like I say, all the X-Men movies,
they kind of blend together.
Kind of.
Yeah, and this is, for whatever reason, it's like Beast and it's Havoc and it's some other people, but yeah, they haven't gotten into Cyclops and the other original X-Men at this point.
I'm sorry.
So
guys.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
It
happens.
It
happens. I just didn't want anyone calling me out after the show.
Yeah.
Adam, what is your final deep cut? Now knowing that Sophie Turner's not in this.
Was Connie Nielsen, how many points was she?
She was 6 points.
Okay.
I feel like she should have been higher. I know she's in it a lot, but like nobody knows who she is. No offense, Connie.
So she was going to be my last grasp because I didn't remember her name, but I knew she was in Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I really don't have anybody. I'm really trying not to say Sean Penn or Joaquin Phoenix. And I've seen Mystic River relatively recently. I mean, it doesn't matter at this point, Sean Penn.
Sean Penn for 1 point. You should have said Joaquin Phoenix, and then you would have gotten 2.
Yeah.
Sean Penn, 1 point. He's in Mystic River, Fred. He is the father of the girl who is murdered, so he is the Boston gangster. So it's one of like Sean Penn's last really good performances, I think.
I feel like he always gives a good performance.
He does. He just hasn't done much in 20 years. Let's take a quick look and see who you missed. You got most of the big ones there for Gladiator. The crossover is from Gladiator to Mystic River, and it's the kid, the Connie Nielsen's son, Spencer Treat Clark.
Oh, it's that kid.
He was the kid. He's also in Unbreakable as Bruce Willis's son, who keeps having him put more weight on. And in Mystic River, he's actually the kid that I think kills Emmy Rossum accidentally.
We're really spoiling Mr. River for Fred, man.
Yeah. And so, Fred, the other guy I thought you might have been going for was Sven Ole Thorsen, who's also Arnold Schwarzenegger's friend.
He was in Conan. That's the guy, in the Conan movie, legendary Gladiator.
So he's in Gladiator. He's at the very end, the one wearing the helmet. So that's who I thought you were going for. But you went for the much more obscure.
He also played
Ralph
Tank
Mueller.
Ellis on Captain Power, and was LaFours in Mallrats.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, that's the one thing I had written down.
Oh, I should have remembered that one. I feel like an idiot for not knowing that. All of my German bodybuilding is that guy.
Mystic River, you got the big ones: Sean Penn, Tim Robbins, Kevin Bacon, Emmy Rossum, Lawrence Fishburne's also in it, Marcia Gay Harden, Laura Linney. The kid from The Sandlot, Smalls, is Emmy Rossum's boyfriend in Mystic River.
Okay.
And then the best deep cut, uncredited, is Eli Wallach from The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, and that's your Clint Eastwood tie-in. He plays a convenience store owner. Oh my God! Do you remember that, Adam? Yeah, no.
Okay, clearly not, or we would have guessed it.
First Class, X-Men, Oliver Platt, Jason Fleming, the Irish actor that plays Jekyll and Hyde in the League of Extraordinary
Gentlemen. He's in the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Yep. Zoe Kravitz as I don't know what her name is, but she's got like the moth wings that flip sides. She goes from
That's a character in that movie?
Yeah, she's the worst character. She's got wings. Oh, and Jason Fleming plays, is it Azazel? He looks like Nightcrawler, but he's got like a red face.
Red.
Yes,
Yeah. But does not appear in the new Deadpool Wolverine movie, even though that character does. It's not him doing it. Who else we got here? James Remar, Ray Wise, Canadian Brendan Fear. I think he was in one of our last ones with you, Fred. I think he might have been in Guardians of the Galaxy. He's also in this as like a guy driving, like he's one of the military guys on a boat with Michael Ironside, which would have been nice because he's like a commander of one of the warships. And then uncredited roles from Hugh Jackman and Rebecca Romaine Stamos. Hugh Jackman Hugh Jackman, because he's uncredited, was worth 8 points.
Oh, I deliberately didn't pick him because I thought he was going to be worth less points.
Yeah, because he's literally got the one swear word, and then that is it from him.
Go fuck yourself. That's what he says, right? Yeah. Did I have sworn? I'm sorry. Did I just make things difficult?
No, we're allowed to swear.
I always put it down as explicit content just to be on the safe side.
Okay.
Adam, you scored 26 points in the first half, 3 points in the second half.
It's a hard game sometimes.
Well, I took a big swing with Amy Ryan.
You did.
Just because I was, like I said, I was scraping the bottom of the barrel, and I figured, 2 points there isn't going to help me. So,
Fred was in the lead with 34, scores 16 in the second half to put him at 50.
So that's half of what I got before.
I mean, like I said, this was a tougher game. A lot of people, maybe one, had reached out to me and said, did you really need to serve up such a softball to Fred? And I was like, listen, the next time he's on, we're going to give him a much more well-rounded game. We'll see what he's really got.
Yeah.
50
Fred and
points.
I do not do as well when there isn't a Star War involved.
A Star War?
A Star War?
Yeah.
Alex, you had 31 points in the first half, and you scored 22 points in the second half to give you 53. And you're one of your big wins.
Big wins with a low score, but a big win. I'll take it.
Yep. No, it works, man. Congratulations. Now, Alex, we normally give our winner the choice of which celebrity guest would we like to get on this show next. I think this is the first time you've gotten this opportunity, or have you had
since
it once
we
before?
Started that? Yeah, not since the only time that I've won. I've won at least one other time.
Because you did. No, you recommended. Was it like Jay Baruchel or something?
Yes,
like
it was
that?
Jay Baruchel.
So
and
you get to go
that I would have to introduce him in my shitty Jay Baruchel impression.
Yes.
Which we assume he'll love.
Yeah. Everyone loves hearing people do impersonations of them to their face.
Famously.
Yeah. So who would be your celebrity get?
You know who we'll never get, but would be awesome, and he'd be amazing at this game, is Bill Hader.
Thank you. Thank you for giving me a real celebrity and not Wink Yahoo.
I still think we should get Wink Yahoo, man. That'd be awesome.
Who's Wink Yahoo?
Exactly.
Do you remember, Fred? You're probably a little too old for it, but there was a YTV show called Uh-Oh. Like a children's game show with the slime stuff. He was the host.
Do you want to get him? I can probably track him down if you want.
I mean, his name's Scott Yaffe. We know other people that know him, and we've reached out to him on Facebook and Instagram and stuff like that, and we've not heard anything back. I'm okay with it because the deal is if the person comes on the show, I will get a small tattoo of their choice. So I really don't want to have to get a tattoo for Wink Yahoo.
That's why I was pushing for him so hard, because that'd be hilarious.
Yes. Alex, congratulations on your big win. Adam, what's going on at Heroic Dreams this week? Anything that you would recommend that the kids come in and buy, knowing that this episode won't air for about 3 weeks?
There's literally thousands of things. If you're looking for something for the kids, Marvel has started integrating some Disney characters. So there's What If Donald Duck Became Wolverine? And also, which just came out, What If Donald Duck Became Thor? So those are...
Donald Duck is worthy of Mjolnir?
Yeah, I don't get that.
Come on, Goofy,
Mickey
maybe.
Mouse I can see. Mickey Mouse I see.
Well, my argument is that Thor is not worthy of Mjolnir, and that's never stopped anything. So,
yeah, but that's a nepotism thing. Don't worry about it.
I guess.
Adam, do you still carry hero clicks? Or are they done?
No, we still do. We actually had a fairly active group up until about maybe 3 months ago, and the guy that was running it moved away. So we were having like pre-release tournaments for every set, and a group that was playing probably not weekly, but maybe 3 times a month kind of thing. But since that guy's left, it's dropped off a little bit. We still carry them, but it'll probably be less going forward until something else.
Yeah, if I'm not in there buying them, it's not really worthy of keeping them anymore. Fred, I know you, of all the people on this podcast right now, you are the hardest working person because you've got so many, and no offense to the other 2 guys, but Fred, you have so many things going on between your radio show, your own podcast, your comic books, and other things. What can you tell us?
Well, Dead Romans 2 is in the works.
Oh, is it? Okay, good.
Nick is finally starting to churn out pages as consistently as he can, because I kind of came down on him being like, dude, get it done, because the last thing I want is us to be 4 issues deep and go in for solicitation stuff, and then Image is like, what? we didn't even know you were still doing this. No. Like, so I've come down on him, and he's like churning out a lot more pages. Just had a story in Savage Sword of Conan #4, and I'm doing, and it did really well. Heroic Signatures and Jim Zub were pretty happy with it, so I'm taking a crack at Conan himself. And I can't say much more about it than that, but I can say that the artist is Canadian and he's really dope. And I've got 2 more things coming out from Blizzard. One should be announced fairly soon. And there's that Ubisoft massive publishing book, Assassin's Creed Visions. And I did a story for that one that's coming out at the end of September.
Perfect. And if you live in the Pickering area, you can probably find a lot of those things at Heroic Dreams.
Set it right up.
Yeah, perfect. Alex, what's going on with you? I know TIFF's going on. You got anything great coming up that you're going to see?
Man, it's hard to follow Fred with just like the list of the coolest things and working on like Assassin's Creed, which I love, and Conan and all this awesome stuff. And I'm like, well, I'm going to go see some movies. But no, I mean, yeah, I've had a really good TIFF this year. I feel like the festival has finally gotten back to kind of where it was before the pandemic and before the strikes, because the strikes last year really hampered the energy. So it's great to see them back. Look forward to it. It's been a great time. I'm super tired. I've done too many midnight screenings. I'm like way too old for that now. And I didn't realize it till like halfway through the second or third movie where I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? I gotta go to work in 4.5 hours. This is a terrible idea. But it's a great time. The Review got their lease extended for like 4 or 5 years, which is fabulous. So congratulations to the Review. Support your local rep cinema. Other than that, I don't have anything else that I want to say, Jeff. That's all.
Well, that was plenty, man. Do you have an outro for me today, Alex?
Sent it.
All right. All right. I'd like to thank our contestants, Adam and Fred, and congratulations to this week's winner, Alex. And of course, thanks to my co-host, Alex. Golly gee, Alex, I sure think you are the bee's knees. I tell you, I reckon you might be the coolest person I know. These are just getting weaker and weaker every week, aren't they? Find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and anywhere you get your podcasts. I'm Jeff Penn. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you all next week. Bye for now.